And what should I call you?
The Illustrator!
I've had a chance to talk about it a few times, but how is everyone feeling after the season premiere of Miraculous Ladybug? I've seen conflicting opinions online, but I am thrilled with where the series is going. Retiring Gabriel as the villain was the right call, and Lila will raise the stakes in upcoming episodes. Her presence is minimal in the premiere, but incredibly impactful. They didn't need to go overboard to show us what she's capable of with the Butterfly Miraculous, and at this point I'm terrified of what she might do. We've already seen that she's willing to akumatize herself and manipulate the flow of time, so there's no telling where the season will take us. The stakes are higher than ever before, and she's going in a completely different direction than Gabriel took before her. I like to think she learned from Monarch's mistakes and is doing everything she can to avoid repeating them. In today's video, I want to discuss everything I've seen from Lila so far that makes her distinct from her predecessor.
Nuru, Dark Wings Rise.
Number 1. Receives permission for akumatization. Throughout the series, the audience is led to believe that the Butterfly Miraculous depends on negative emotions to transmit its powers. Gabriel only targeted vulnerable people who were likely to succumb to their anger, grief, or sadness. However, we learn the truth of the Butterfly Miraculous from Miraculous World Paris. As it turns out, its wielder can give anyone abilities regardless of their emotional state. The special allowed us to see how the Miraculous should be used, as Butterfly ensured he had permission before bestowing powers. In contrast, Gabriel enforced akumatizations even when someone tried to reject them. Essentially, he forced innocent people to harm others and wreak havoc in his name. Technically, Lila is doing the same thing but takes a different approach. In the season premiere, we see how she interacts with akumatized villains. She makes her presence known, speaks to them using language they would find appealing, and ensures she has their permission before giving them abilities. She also allows them to name themselves, a tactic that makes the new villains feel more involved in the situation. The way that Lila interacts with these villains is a form of manipulation. She's trying to stay on their good side and prove that she has their best interest in mind. She makes herself appear altruistic and helpful, creating a welcoming atmosphere that Gabriel lacked. Even though no one remembers what happens to them when they are akumatized, when they have powers, they're convinced that the butterfly wielder is an ally willing to help them achieve their goals. It's a great first impression to give someone when she's ultimately trying to use them to her advantage.
Hello, Maya.
Forgive my intrusion, but
I seem to feel a huge disappointment.
Number 2. Uses multiple voices. At the start of the season premiere, Alya and Marinette discuss everything they know about Monarch and everything they don't know about his successor. The heroes know a lot about Monarch because they spent so long fighting him, and he wasn't very good at hiding his features. Numerous times throughout the series, Monarch left his hideout and fought against the heroes one-on-one. The heroes were able to discern his age, his gender, his inflictions and tones, and much more. Marinette even successfully deduced that Gabriel wielded the Butterfly Miraculous in the second season because he was clumsy with maintaining his secret identity. Granted, he managed to throw the heroes off his trail, but that could have ended disastrously for him. Moreover, Adrian didn't even take time to consider the possibility, which could suggest that deep down he knew his father had the potential to be a villain. It's also worth mentioning that other characters discovered Gabriel's secret identity and used that information against him, including Felix and Lila herself. Gabriel's experiences are ones Lila is learning from. She's going to great lengths to ensure nothing ties her to the Butterfly Miraculous. Her costume is ambiguous, making it impossible to determine her gender. She also layers multiple voices on top of one another, making it difficult for anyone to discern her gender, tone, and emotion.
I knew you were no ordinary uncle.
And now you know that I only need to snap my fingers to make you disappear from here.
Number 3. A nameless villain. As a fashion designer and a patron of the arts, it's no surprise that Gabriel had a flair for the dramatic. After deciding to use the Butterfly Miraculous to draw out new heroes, he made sure everyone in Paris knew his name and credited him for the transformations happening around the city. He introduced himself to every villain he created and made sure to update them on his new names even when he remained in hiding for months. Honestly, I know it's fun when developing concepts, but Gabriel had no reason to change his costume and name 3 times when he wasn't pretending to be an entirely new person. Not only did everyone know who Monarch was by the time of Gabriel's death, he made himself an enemy of the world with his last stunt. Had he survived and continued using his Miraculous, he would have had heroes worldwide searching for his lair. I don't know if fame and legacy were things that he was going for, but Lila is taking the opposite approach. She doesn't want to be found, acknowledged, or perceived. received, and she's doing everything possible to ensure the heroes won't find her. One of these tricks includes keeping her name a secret from akumatized villains. She makes herself seem irrelevant and unimportant, so irrelevant that she doesn't have an alter ego. Now, Lila probably has named herself. She's a fantastic actress who commits to each role and balances several double lives. I'm sure she has a name and personality in mind for when she uses the Butterfly Miraculous, making it another double life among many. It's nothing more than a role for her to play and a means of getting her way. Still, there's no reason she needs to share this other identity with the people of Paris. Not yet.
Roaches? What are you talking about?
You really think that Gabriel Agreste could be Shadow Moth?
Number 4. Revulx Ultrakumas. If I could only use one word to describe Gabriel Agreste, it would be desperate. He was desperate to save his wife and restore his family. He would do anything to achieve this goal, even if it meant putting his son at risk or destroying all of Paris. He saw every akumatization through, even the ones that were accidental and entirely out of his control. I can't count the number of times villains deviated from his plan in favor of achieving their own goals. When this happened, Gabriel would become increasingly frustrated, often shouting through their psychic bond to regain control. Having experienced 5 seasons with Gabriel wielding the Butterfly Miraculous and experiencing loss after loss at the hands of the heroes, imagine my surprise when Lila threatened to revoke Illustrator's Ultrakuma. She had that butterfly halfway out of the akumatized object before Illustrator could get a word in. Why did it never occur to Gabriel to retract akumas when his villains defected? It could have saved him so much time, energy, and stress. Lila only gives people powers on the stipulation that they successfully take the other Miraculouses, which is a great incentive for making loyal allies. Technically, Gabriel did also do this, but he never followed through on his word. It's refreshing to know that akumatized villains will have repercussions if they don't do as Lila says.
Marinette, kiss me!
Number 5. Attacks through her villains. Since the episode of Sublimation has yet to air on television at the time of this recording, I will touch on this very briefly. If you want to avoid spoilers, I suggest skipping ahead to the outro. If you haven't seen it online or through leaked videos, most of the episode is watchable, including interactions between the heroes and the titular villain. In one of the leaks, there is a scene where objects that look very similar to Ultrakumas shoot out of Sublimation's glasses and hit Cat Noir. The attack drains some of the colors from his costume, signifying the loss of his powers. When questioned about what she did to him, Sublimation claims she doesn't know. I don't have all the details, but it seems that Lila may be able to hijack her akumatized villains and launch counterattacks. If my assumption and analysis of this leak are true, the heroes will have a hard time. I couldn't be more excited about the antagonist change. I think the showrunners planned to make Lila the big bad all along. Her appearances were always connected to significant plot points, and it was clear from the start that she always had bad intentions. Her ascension to wielding the Butterfly Miraculous didn't feel rushed and is a natural progression for her character. I think her story is being handled very well so far, primarily because, as the audience, we are in the dark about her plans and motivations. Unlike with Gabriel, we have no idea what Lila has planned for the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses, making the season all the more enjoyable. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Why did I write that? Did something go wrong with my plan?